It's a little better. So, sorry for being out for a week. Been just unexpectedly tired. Been going to bed at the normal time, even earlier, and it just was not making me any less tired. I think that hurricane week really killed me. Alright, so from last we picked off, let's see here. We had voted off, let's see here, Kanzo and Yoshi were the ones that were killed. Kanzo looked like somebody actually murdered him for real, because there was no trace of fur on Kanzo, and it looked like this was more of a human thing versus a wolf thing. Yoshi looks like he was torn apart by werewolves. So, in the meeting, we had the old man who cried wolf voted out. He and Mochi, Mochi himself, who is a monkey, went with old man to keep an eye on him before they go to hang him, and they're both murdered. And it looked like somebody did it with a knife. The only person that we know for sure who has a knife is Chiemi, as we saw that morning. So, someone needs to have a damn good explanation here. Alright. Alright, here we go. Soon after that was time. Can't be right. Bone crushing from bad to worse. Room. Growing anxiety. Eccentric. Lunch. Okay. Feast. The first feast, and then the second feast. Okay. Isolation cell. Guess that's where we left off. Huh. Soon after that was time to shelter, so everyone retreated to their houses. Takumi had entered my room and boarded my window completely shut, so I can't leave, period. I keep getting suspicious. If you're not the culprit, something's gonna happen even if you're locked in. His words were harsh, but there was a hint of composure. He may have actually believed that I was the one who did it, or maybe he found peace in the idea the mountain would punish the culprit. Or perhaps he just believed it was the work of something supernatural. Whatever the case, he was dwelling less and less on the matter. Was the wolf guy a wolf? I had no idea whether that was plausible. Assuming he wasn't, 2 of the remaining 9 were wolves. With Kiyono being a confirmed human, Takumi being the snake, and Maiko being a monkey, there was a whole 6 suspects. Thanks to my advice, Chiemi suggests the monkeys reveal themselves and they turn out to be Chika and Maiko. Though Mochi just died, that was a heavy blow. Him being a confirmed non-wolf was one reason, but more than that, he was one of the few who actually talked to me without restraint. He was somewhat of an oddity compared to the rest of the people here, but I did find him to be a fun guy. I'd like to get back at whatever injustice had stolen his life. Clearing my head, I resumed thinking. Since she was acting suspicious today... Yeah, I'm turning the volume down on my headset. New headset's working too good. Since she was acting suspicious today, Takumi would investigate Harum. Tomorrow, we'd only have 5 suspects. That'd give them decent chances of picking out the 2 wolves. Seems to me like it wouldn't be that hard to find the murderers, who would surely be shaken by what they had done. And then the outed wolf, not wanting to die alone, would reveal their partner. I highly doubt that. That's the most optimistic way to look at it. From a pessimistic standpoint, though, the situation was absolutely terrible. 4 people had died today. A normal feast, it had to be 1 per day, 1 per night. This is double that. Things hadn't gone so well in the forest, even Haru might have died. Not to mention the dreadful state Kaoru was when I was told the relationship had gotten worse. Kaori was in no state to prepare food, so it was likely that no one had eaten anything today. The hunger would only worsen everyone's morale. It was best for them to prioritize getting a proper meal tomorrow. Even so, there was no guarantee we wouldn't get any more irregular deaths. For example, someone at their wits' end could attack a wolf suspect despite the threat of the corruption. They ended up losing more humans while the number of wolves stayed the same. The humans would be done for either tomorrow or the day after. Escape. I've been entertaining the idea ever since lunch. The path was ruined. I had to travel through the underdeveloped grove, but I hadn't run into anything supernatural there when searching for Haru. Maybe I could get out as long as I watched where I was going. Not going to happen. We already tried that. I also had Saranaga as another option. Everyone here hated it, but that just made it less likely for me to get caught. Going down a misty, rocky cliff was dangerous, but at least it was a one-way road. I had to be careful I didn't get taken by the currents, and it was definitely better than just staying here and dying. However, perhaps even suggesting that was dangerous. According to Rikako, the effects of the corruption were limited to the ones who broke the laws, so you could escape them by killing yourself. However, if someone said they wanted to escape the village, the punishment would likely go to both the one attempting it as well as the ones who allowed it. The escape would surely become a hell of an experience then. However, there was an optimistic view to this situation. Something was actually here. Something abnormal was here in Yasumizu, killing and menacing its people using abnormal methods. At the very least, Yoshitsugu, who went to face it, suffered a horrible death. The superstitions weren't baseless, and it was best to look at the situation from that angle. My plan of escape contradicted that. But then, how could I prepare for whatever was to come? The best I could think of was trying to familiarize myself with Fujiyoshi's superstitions. Perhaps I could find some sort of weak point or hint that could lead me to their identity. Five, prepare for the feast when the evening mists arrive. The action rhyme they did was obviously referring to the feast of the Yomi Purge. And for some reason, my internet connection is crapping out at the start. I mean, it's good that this is happening now instead of later, but I prefer this not happening. Come on. I also upgraded my computer, got more memory in it. Nice. New headset. Even got myself a replacement mouse. Same type of mouse. But I like it because it works. And now that it's an older model, since the last time I bought it was like 6 years ago, it's a lot cheaper too. So go me. Alright, come on. It is hopping all over the place. Come on. It's not even like I'm connected, like, wirelessly. This is a direct connection, man. As long as it stays above, like, 2,000 kilobytes per second, it should be fine. Maybe not. Just giving it a little bit more time. like I've got something slowing me down. Let me see what's going on. Okay. What's going on? Any of my other programs just taking bandwidth from me? No. Okay, it's stabilized. Ah, you... It didn't stabilize. Did Starfield just bring out an update or something I'm just not aware of? Really should update itself. Really does need a few updates. Game itself is alright, but overall, it's underwhelming. Not exactly good, but I mean, it's okay. Like for a Bethesda game, it's all right. It's nothing special to me. Which is sad because I like playing games like these. So when it comes to me having an opinion like that, it's not exactly good. All right, we're stabilized. Stabilized enough at least. No. It's taking a lot longer to stabilize, too. Oh well. As long as it's still running, it should be fine. Couldn't remember all the lyrics, but I felt like there was quite a lot of info there. Perhaps there were more hints of the feast in Yasui's culture and general area. Felt like I had to talk to Rikako. She was an adult who seemed more involved in Fujiyoshi's prayers and stuff than most. Need to arm myself with more info by tomorrow morning. That, along with the proper progression of the feast, were my only ways to survive. About today's feast. They must have decided to hang the wolf guy because they just didn't care about him at all that much. Simple as that. Sure, it was important to get rid of the participants who weren't cooperative. However, the fact that we lost 6 people, but they still hadn't gone beyond he or she is kind of shady, was pretty bad. Yesterday, they wouldn't have hung anyone for such a petty reason. Well, the problem was that they hadn't hung anyone at all so far, but then again, it would be a good thing to give the impression it was only to kill people just for seeming shady. The place was regressing back to a feudal, superstitious mental state. If there was something that could stop them from sinking there, it would be an outsider like me. I steel my resolve and wait for the night to pass. Good evening. Chiemi, I am not going to entertain this. I'm so startled by the voice on the other side of the door that I momentarily screamed. What time was it? 7? Way too early for an attack and too late to walk around. What's wrong with you? Aren't you gonna get punished if you don't sleep? I think another hour is fine. I was awake until 8 yesterday and nothing happened. I've been sleeping too much, honestly. I'm not tired, but I'm really hungry. Don't you have any food stocks? Well, with Kaori-san being well, you know, I decided not to touch it. Might share it with the others. We're all hungry today, so I'll just tough it out. Outstanding. You should eat, though. What, the stuff from before? Nah, I'll pass. Why are you here anyway? Can't sleep. Is that really it? Haruaki, do you suspect me? Yes, you are really suspicious. No, that's not the right answer. Why? Because you told them about the monkeys, knowing full well what it meant. Beast of the Yomi Purge is a well-constructed communication game. Well-constructed? Meant that there's no way to win this game beyond communication. Chikamochi thought the same thing. To win, both the humans and the wolves need to have some tricks and individual strategies. Consider the monkeys. They seem useless at first, but you can use them to easily eliminate 2 suspects. And this is possible from day 1, so they became reliable leaders. Though that'd be hard for Mochi and Maiko. Yeah, he was a free spirit and she's a child. The wolves, on the other hand, have to go on the defensive. In a situation when being suspicious enough to get yourself hanged, it's important not to draw attention to yourself. That's easier said than done, though. Yeah, keeping your silence can be just as suspicious as being a blabbermouth. Exactly, but there are two factors that make it easy to gauge trustworthiness right from the very start. They have something to do with monkeys? Yeah. You have to watch out for those who give bad advice or don't provide useful suggestions. Good example is the former Kiyonosuke. His poor planning threw everyone into disarray. That makes him really suspicious. But he's confirmed to be human. Right. Well, that's assuming Takumi wasn't lying about being the snake. That is still a possibility that I have on my list. Huh? You're saying he could be lying? Not impossible. After all, anyone can say that they have a guardian. Honestly, if I were a wolf, I'd lay low until I killed a few they'd claim to have a guardian to ensure my safety. I see, but Takumi came out on the first day. Yeah, that was basically suicidal. But since that allows the spider to protect him, it's like a telling blow that hurt the attacker, I think. Anyway, all things considered, I'd say it's safe to trust Takumi and Kiyonosuke. Okay. Personally, I think you're trustworthy too, since you spoke up about the monkeys. What if I only did it because I saw your game? Oh, that'd be bad. Wait, hold on. Aren't you basically saying you suspected me up until I spoke about the monkeys? Oh, you noticed? This goddamn guy. What the hell, man? I did it because I wanted to believe you. Alright, I forgive you then. Woohoo. So who's the most suspicious one? Haru. I mean, that's going to be difficult to say. Thought so. She's not making much sense lately. You could explain her shift in personality by assuming it's because she killed her granddad. Or maybe she couldn't agree with the other wolf on the decision to kill Kanzo and stop trusting anyone. Oh, that makes sense. Could make up 1,000 reasons like this, though. We couldn't just go by that. They said Haru had gathered many votes, but they treated her like some kind of pariah, making it clear that everyone suspected her. It was only natural to use the snake to check on her. Though she doesn't seem at all that good at games and stuff. It probably wasn't fair to judge her purely on not making any useful contributions. In that regard, Yasu is way more suspicious. Huh? But he did say a lot, like pointing out my math was incorrect. He did say something like that, you said, not doing anything indirectly helps the wolves or something like that. Not to mention, that on the first day he suggested that the spider should hide. That's true. Though most of these things were minor, it was definitely contributing to the game. The first day was especially important. For the wolves, it's best to create a flow where they could just stay quiet and wait for those with guardians to out themselves. What bothered me was the fact that he wasn't the one who brought up leader selection, the monkey thing. He was shady because he hadn't made those useful propositions. I thought he'd figured those things out a while ago. Or maybe I, as an outsider, just had a better grasp of the situation. Guess he's innocent then. I don't know about the rest though. Can't even imagine what Rikako and Tai are thinking. I know what you mean. But if you looked at the circumstances outside the feast, Rikako was pretty shady. It always felt like she was hinting at something. It wouldn't have surprised me if she knew more than she let on. If she was a village head, she could know things only those from Kamifujiyoshi knew. There was more than enough reason to suspect her. If we could follow that lead and solve this whole thing, it'd make things way easier. Haruaki, are you enjoying this? No. But you look like the type who likes mystery stories. Yeah, if they're stories. If it's real life, that's a different ballgame. I won't deny that, but I can't really enjoy myself with people I do care about, and when people I care about and I are in danger. If I did act like some master detective, I'd really just be some useless amateur. Wouldn't accomplish anything. Not sure I buy that. What do you mean? Everyone else is a mess. I think most normal people would lose in this kind of situation. Say the same about you. Not exactly normal either. Hey, I heard that you almost killed someone. Who told you that? That's a secret. No, it didn't sound intentional. Well, how do I say it? I think it happened in middle school. Grabbed a bat and beat up some students who were bullying the Yasumizu kids. Some of them were connected to the head family, so it became a big deal, and that's basically why the adults here are so harsh on me. I see, so you fight out of a sense of justice. So she was sent to Yasumizu for making enemies of the village heads. Wouldn't say that. It's more I just have a short temper and wanted to make a scene. Rebellious phase? More or less. Same as Haru and Yoshi. In a place as rural as this, it's rare for children to grow up as level-headed as Yasu, don't you think? Really, I think they'd be healthier and nicer than the edgy brats from the city. Let me rephrase that. In a place as poor as this. Well, there was no doubt that Yasumizu was destitute. There were no cars, cell phones, it didn't even feel like it had an economy. They probably lived mostly off the land, making money from whatever they could spare from their farms and huts. Since they had no Since they had no decent way to sell stuff to anyone outside, most of their business had to be done through Kamifujiyoshi. It was entirely likely they were ripping them off. No way this place could be wealthy in these circumstances. I didn't believe that money could buy everything, but poverty took its toll on the people suffering from it. Some could live in poverty while retaining their purity, but that was borderline saintly. It was a lifestyle too difficult for the common masses. Also, since the people of Yasumizu were ostracized from Kamifujiyoshi, they were targets of unjust pressure from day one. I can understand why the children here strayed from the path. Though, when you look at it like that, the way they strayed was so mild it was almost cute. Are you disturbed now? Not really. You're lying. You now think I'm so blunt I whip out a blunt object to beat you up. I'm just going to ignore that poor attempt at a pun. Sorry. My ex wasn't any different. Oh? Oh, I see. You seem confused. I have no idea why. You weren't lying when you said you broke up with your girlfriend? You thought I was? I thought it was just some kind of pickup line. That's just mean. Our breakup was insane. I actually felt like my life was in danger. Whoa, sorry to hear that. What about you? Huh? Your history with guys. Sure, mine. So hearing yours is only fair, right? Yeah, well... How many did you go out with? 2, I guess? What happened to you being a hyper slow who's done with 53 guys? Never said that. I did exaggerate a bit, but I did have tons of invitations. Yeah, you only went out with 2. Well, I didn't find many guys I got along with. What about me? Let's not go any further. If I let myself get too attached, I'd be too scared to die. Being afraid of death is normal, though, isn't it? Not really. Why? God is way scarier than death. The music changed. I feel like you have a very unusual image of God. Really? Think of something as frightening that you might actually meet, right? Everyone has to meet God. Maybe they just can't see it. God is really scary. It's just that no one knows how. Myself included? You're the only one I don't understand. That's probably why. I'm afraid of losing you. That's something you say to those you promise your eternal love to. Are you mad? A bit. I see. We've gotten this far and you're still being cagey regarding your own background. You can only take playing hard to get so far until it gets annoying. I'm just not sure what to do. This isn't easy for me either. Just tell me everything. I'm going back. Jimmy. Good night. The hell? Why didn't she talk? Did she still not trust me? Was she messing with me? Was she just kind of crazy? Or was it something else? Crap. I wanted to chase her down and get to the real answer out of her, but I was locked in. So frustrating. Though this wasn't the time to worry about that. Who would the wolves go for tonight? Let's see here. Who would the wolves go for? And my bitrate is still going to crap. To hell and back. Let me just restart OBS. Give me a second.